We should talk about Android tablets because they aren't the most popular option out there. Most people are pretty happy to buy an iPad or even a Windows 2-in-1 machine, but Android tablets are still a thing, and they're still a good option for people who either need Android-specific services or just don't like the way iPadOS and Windows operate. To me, by far the best Android tablet is the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6. This isn't a cheap tablet by any means, it's $650. But for that money, you're getting a slim and powerful 128GB tablet with Android 10, Samsung's One UI 2.1, and maybe most importantly, Samsung's S Pen stylus. The first thing that stood out to me about the Tab S6 from the moment I unboxed it was the display. It's a 10.5-inch Quad HD AMOLED panel that's just bright and sharp and colorful. I do wish it had a higher refresh rate like the iPad Pro and some of Samsung's recent phones. This one's locked at just 60 Hz, but it still looks great and it hides an in-display fingerprint sensor, which is nice for bypassing the lock screen. So the S Pen on the Tab S6 is a bit different than on, say, the Galaxy Note 10. This one's a lot bigger, and that makes it easier and more comfortable to hold. You still get 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity, which means the harder you press the pen against the display, the thicker your brush strokes. It's great for drawing and taking notes, and the side button is nice for accessing quick, customizable shortcuts. But because the S Pen is so much bigger and the tablet is so thin, there isn't room for the pen to actually go inside of the tablet when you're not using it. Instead, there's this little indent on the back with a pretty weak magnet where you can store and charge the pen. If you want to keep it better in place, you can attach this back cover. The flap for accessing the S Pen is awkward and means that the tablet can't sit flat on a table or in your bag, but it definitely keeps the stylus in place. The back cover also gives you this really sturdy hinge that you can adjust to virtually any angle, sort of like a Surface tablet. It's really great, and it's one of my favorite things about the Tab S6, but the downside is that this whole back cover attaches to the tablet not by magnets, but by this giant adhesive strip down the middle. That means that once it's on here, it's really not going anywhere, and that kind of sucks. On the bright side, there's also this great keyboard accessory that attaches to the side of the tablet with magnets. It connects right away, and it feels pretty good to type on. There's a decent amount of key travel here, and while the trackpad is a little cramped, it's understandable given size constraints. I do think it's a little awkward trying to balance adjusting the hinge and keeping the keyboard in place, but I've certainly seen worse solutions than this. Now, if the Tab S6 is a little out of your budget, there's also the Tab S6 Lite. At $350, it's nearly half the price, and at first glance, it's really a very similar tablet. You still get Android 10 with One UI, and even the screen is roughly the same size. It isn't quite as vibrant, but it still looks pretty good, especially for the price. I actually way prefer the way the Tab S6 Lite's accessories are designed. This folio cover is easy to get on and off of the tablet thanks to magnets! Oh! And you can attach the S Pen to the inside of the folio or to the side of the tablet. Just listen to that snap. Now, there's no keyboard on this folio, and you can only choose one of two angles, so you win some, you lose some. There's also no fingerprint sensor, so you'll need to use an old-fashioned pin or pattern. There is face unlock on here, but it's just based on the camera, not any kind of iris scanner or depth mapping, so it's not great, especially in low light. The Tab S6 Lite is pretty feature-rich. The software is almost exactly the same as on the more expensive Tab S6, but the biggest downside is the performance, and I think the Exynos processor inside is mostly to blame. Just about everything you do on the S6 Lite comes with a bit of stutter and hesitation from the software. It isn't the end of the world, but I was definitely surprised at how sluggish this tablet feels overall. Now, maybe you're really strapped for cash, or all you even want a tablet for is the occasional video streaming. Amazon's 10th generation Fire HD 8 starts at under $100, and for that kind of money, it's really hard to beat. The Fire HD 8 isn't the fastest tablet in the world, but it's got a pretty decent looking 8-inch display, and just about every streaming service you could ask for. Obviously, Amazon wants you to use its own services as often as possible. The Fire HD 8 prompts you to sign up for at least 3 Amazon services during the setup process, and just about every screen you flip to has half a dozen more. But you can also stream from Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Disney+. Seriously, if you just need a tablet for video streaming, I would recommend this over almost anything else because that value is just unreal. It should be mentioned though that if you do plan on running any other apps, you're gonna have to find them on the Amazon App Store since the Fire HD 8 doesn't have the Google Play Store like most other Android devices. If you want a few other options to consider, we've got a list at AndroidCentral.com of 6 of the best Android tablets on the market and in-depth written reviews of each of the tablets featured in this video. Of course, these are the tablets that we recommend, but they aren't the only options out there. Do all the research it takes to figure out which tablets fit your needs and budget. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments down below if you use an Android tablet, or any tablet at all for that matter. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.